I'm waiting for this one to... No, he can wait. Right here. Oh, son of a bitch. Gil, what are you doing on my TV?
Well, you didn't answer your phone, so this is the next best thing I could think of.
Firewall breaks, and everyone just feels like they can jump in. What can I do for you?
Alright, so listen. I know you want to play Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, but hear me out. Super Mario Maker 2.
Yes?
That's all I got.
Gil, get off my TV.
Okay, I kind of don't know how to do that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, fine. Let's take a look into Super Mario Maker 2. Okay, I don't want to give off the wrong impression here. No, I've been looking forward to this game as well. The original 2015 release was a great celebration of Mario's 30th anniversary. To give control to the player and allow us to make what we thought was great level design was nevertheless a novel concept that ensured the game would have near limitless replayability.
Yep, just too bad the same couldn't be said for the console it was released on, but at this point, everyone's poked fun at the Wii U's lifespan. Even Nintendo was aware of the console's dwindling support since they would later release Super Mario Maker for the 3DS in an attempt to bolster sales.
Was that version any good? I never got to play it.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't. You couldn't share your creations online, and that's kind of the point, so that alone killed it on arrival for most people. Don't get me wrong, the game was still Mario Maker from head to toe, but the best thing about Mario Maker was sharing your work with other paisanos across the globe. You can share your levels locally or via Street Pass, if that's even alive nowadays, but other than that, that's about it.
I getcha. It's got limited appeal, even more so today. Oh well, it's all moot point since earlier this year Nintendo announced Super Mario Maker 2 for the much more successful Nintendo Switch. So let's give it a look-see and hope to God this video doesn't immediately get dated.
Dude, what was it, like 2 hours after that video went up, Nintendo added checkpoints to the game?
Sure felt like it anyway, and the game got more add-ons to boot. I would say that would qualify for a round 2 video, but I'm gonna go ahead and make an exception for Mario Maker because the sequel is pretty much the original game with more bells and whistles. With one major exception, I feel I can safely say there is no reason to go back to the original Mario Maker if you go and get Mario Maker 2.
I don't know, man. I think the one drawback here is the complete lack of amiibo support. Sure, they're likely collecting dust on your shelf by now, but the costumes they unlocked added a ton of visual charm and inspired tons of people to make levels based around those characters.
I just don't understand why the costumes are gone, period. I get not supporting amiibos to some degree, they're just not as popular as they used to be, but let's not forget, you didn't necessarily need amiibos to get those costumes. They just accelerated the unlock process. To remove them completely makes me think it was likely a licensing issue, like maybe they didn't want to shell out the extra cash for those third-party extras and anime stuff.
So instead of alternate skins, you slowly unlock extras for your Mii. Different hats, different costumes, the usual stuff, which is cool for Mii enthusiasts, I guess, but doesn't have the same sense of gratification.
I guess bragging rights when you unlock specific costumes like this robot costume for fully complete in story mode. Yeah, Mario Maker 2 has a story mode this time, though this is a Mario story we're talking here, so it's nothing profound as you would assume. Mario and his pals are seen rebuilding the castle after, I don't know, the Great War? Perhaps they're just refurbishing.
If your idea of refurbishing is dismantling something and then building it again from scratch, sure. Everything's looking good until the Undo Dog does what he does best and undoes the entire castle.
They had all the time in the world to get him off that button. Why the hesitancy? You think the Undo Dog can also undo existence?
Probably, and if so, I wouldn't want to be the one to piss him off.
So now it's up to Mario and his underpaid co-workers to amass a fortune of coins and rebuild the castle from the ground up. The Toad here offers you jobs of varying difficulties, pitting you in a large variety of challenges, with different styles ranging from the original Super Mario Bros. To the newly added Super Mario 3D World style. The inclusion of the 3D World style is nice, but I'm kinda mixed on it. For one, I think it makes the new Super Mario Bros. Skin feel lesser by comparison. You can do almost everything in 3D World that you can do in New Super Mario Bros. Minus the spin jump and the twirly midair spin. 3D World also gives you the long jump and this midair ballet spin that slows your descent. I also think the 3D World style is just visually superior. You're interacting with actual good-looking 3D objects, compared to New Super Mario's hodgepodge of 2D images and pre-rendered enemies, which can clash hard with the environments in my opinion. The new Super Mario Bros. Style still has its positives. The midair twirl that extends your airtime and triple jump are just a blast to use in a speedrun level, but with 3D World included, it does feel rather redundant now. That said, it's also a little disappointing that 3D World is confined to 2D gameplay, and I may understand why. The world is probably not ready for a 3D Mario Maker, we may never see that happen, but Super Mario 3D World was more than just 2D action, it had plenty of 3D mixed in as well, which we can't take advantage of in this game.
To be honest though, while I do welcome the addition of some of the elements of 3D World, I really do feel like its inclusion is sort of pointless, considering half the time I can't even visually tell it apart from the NSMB style.
Differing opinions, how dare.
I know, right? It's like we're not a collective hive mind. Anyway, I don't even think the 3D World style is actually as fun as NSMB. It feels like a less good NSMB with an included long jump. Sure, that long jump is a new mechanic that you can base stages around, but that's about it. I don't think that's enough to warrant a whole new style. Also, Meowser is the worst RNG garbage I've ever seen. Ever played a stage with a flying Meowser? Don't.
Yeah, it can feel like he just does what he wants and drags out the stage from time to time. I still love Meowser as an idea, but he can be obnoxious if used improperly. Story mode places you in some pretty interesting challenges and it lasts about 5 hours to get every job done, but it's largely a giant tutorial on how level design and obstacles work in Mario games so that you can get an idea on how to properly implement them in your own levels. And it could serve as a spark of inspiration for the more crafty creator. Swimming levels, tricky obstacle courses, intense speedruns, slow methodical puzzle levels, all of those are covered here, and the newly added gimmicks not seen in the first Mario Maker shine through as well.
We can save it until we talk about the updated course maker later, but rest assured, all the new things added are used in some form or fashion in story mode, in ways that can make some of them outright terrifying.
Oh my god, no! No! Oh, they're chasing me! They can't follow me here, can they? Oh yes, they can! Fuck!
Dude, let's keep this video in the green, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sorry, it's just... It's fine.
Ooh, well, that's not good.
What did you do?
I don't know, it just shorted out.
Oh, what a day. Well, having coins necessary to build more of the castle was a great way of making them feel worth something. They're still good for extra lives because 2D Mario can't move past that antiquated design, but whenever you complete an extra objective or maybe find one of those hidden rooms filled with coins, it legitimately feels good to rake in all that cash so that you can afford the next major construction part with ease. Bottom line though, that's all there is to story mode. Choose a job, complete the challenge, get coins, build more of the castle so you can get more jobs, and the cycle repeats. There are some times where you have to rescue your crew from Bowser's clutches, but that's about it in terms of story, if you even want to call it that. If you find yourself dying a whole bunch, Luigi can drop in for some assistance. You can either use power-ups at your leisure to help you get through, or you can just have Luigi finish the level for you. That's so defeating though, so try not to do that. A question for the audience, is there any way to get rid of the part graphic on the lower left of the screen? It stays there once you get the Luigi prompt, but to my knowledge there's no way to get rid of it if you don't want to use Luigi's help. It's a little distracting, not too big of a deal, but I just thought I'd ask anyway. Let me see, the flavor text for all the jobs is pretty funny. You can tell the developers had a lot of fun writing these. I like how all the Bowser jobs are clearly from him, but the sender is marked as
name and address withheld.
Also, by the way, the Eraser is totally a hitman, or at the very least, a mob boss. Read his job descriptions, you'll see.
Doesn't leave any evidence either. He just erases himself from the scene every time you complete his job. This motherfucker's setting you up.
I really like story mode, though binging it does get a little monotonous since it's just a big sack of levels with no cohesiveness, which is totally fine for this game, but it just feels a little strange having a story mode that doesn't really feel like one. Still though, the levels are mostly enjoyable and good for small bursts of play, which is perfect for the Switch.
Play enough of it and you can use the Super Ball power from Super Mario Land to use in the Mario 1 style. I was seriously not expecting that. And you can also unlock this hammer suit for the 3D World style. It's fun to use, feels good to smash bricks with a hammer and create blocks to make higher jumps, but big opportunity missed here. They didn't give us the Hammer Brothers suit from the Mario 3 style. It was right there, guys. Come on, you remember the Super Ball, but not the Hammer Brothers suit? Psst, I'm complaining about the lack of a Hammer Brothers suit so that Nintendo will patch it in a few days after this video goes live.
You idiot! Don't say that out loud!
Sorry. Story mode has its incentives, mainly the power-ups you can unlock for your own levels, but this is likely not the main reason you might consider getting the game. That's Course Maker, and it's gotten several updates. It's almost like Nintendo was aware of our first review and just said, yeah, f those two. You can choose between day and night themes now, and they are quite luscious to look at. Not too big on the night music though. The compositions are great, but the music box instruments make every track sound tiny, empty, and too like one another. Some of them sound like they belong in a subpar Yoshi's Island sequel. Besides day and night themes, there's also newly added level themes to boot. Basically everything we wanted from last time. Desert themes, jungle themes, sky themes, complete with new remixes to complement the visuals. There's still some exclusions, not every level trope from Mario made the cut, but it's far more than before, so it's definitely a step up. You know, you you can now make your pyramid levels in an actual desert. Aesthetic can mean everything in level design.
So once again, this time around, creating is not my strong suit, and I have way more interest in seeing the things other people created. Yeah, sure, maybe I think it would be cool to craft some grand gauntlet of a platforming challenge, but anytime I've entered Course Maker, it's pretty much just been me placing a bunch of bottomless pits to jump over. I am perfectly content to play other people's levels, and lucky for me, the game is so limitless that I don't even feel as though I'm missing out on anything by not making levels myself.
Much like before, your time spent in Mario Maker 2 is really down to what you look for in these kind of games. If you're a creator, well then Course Maker is full with all the same tools to make building stages easily accessible. If you can, however, I would recommend building stages in handheld mode. Using the touchscreen makes the interface less clunky and more like the Wii U setup. On a controller, man, I've had to have accidentally misclicked and highlight the wrong things because I was suddenly moving around the button prompts and not the Course Maker itself. You might smudge up your screen a bit, and if you got big hands, it could be a little awkward, but the easier access to tools is worth it. But if making levels isn't your thing, you're probably just into playing other people's creations, and well, this is Mario Maker, there's thousands to choose from. Full Sturgeon's Law in effect here, you're bound to run into a lot of crap, especially in endless mode, where stages are sort of given to you randomly. In normal mode, I ran into about 3 levels that soft locked me out of a win because of thoughtless design, and with expert mode and beyond, it's all the super precise kick you in the balls borderline Kaizo shit. I would just stick to recommendations and current popular choices. I've been streaming the game for the last month in preparation for this video, and I've run into some questionable stuff, sure, but I was also recommended some truly amazing levels oozing in creativity. It was a blast, like this one that simulates one of those old school dungeon crawlers where you have to navigate this maze and pay attention to your current position. Come on, tell me that isn't impressive. With Mario assets, that's awesome.
The new version of Course World is a lot more streamlined, and I like that. They made it a lot easier to search for levels by specific genre or difficulty, and just overall improve the UI without completely overhauling it, and I think that's just what they needed to do. I still wish there was an option to just find all the stages your friends have made by integrating your Switch friends list, but who am I kidding? This is Nintendo, and Mario Maker is a mostly online experience. The fact that the game works at all is a miracle in and of itself.
And if you get sick of playing as Mario, you can now also choose between Luigi, Toad, and Toadette. No special abilities to make them stick out though, it's strictly cosmetic. They get their own sprites for every style, so that's pretty cool, and I don't know about you guys, but playing as Toadette in the 3D world aesthetic just feels right. Maybe they're testing the waters for an eventual 3D world port for the Switch. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. If you have some friends or family around, you can also play stages with local co-op. Some stages are next to impossible because of how the camera acts with multiple characters. It won't move along unless both characters are in a similar X and Y positions, but you can still get some fun out of it. My brother Mark and I tried to anyway. Hey, it's either that, or you can press your luck with the online multiplayer.
Holy shit. Talk about the biggest blunder in Mario Maker 2. It's terrible. So much latency, so much input lag. It's unplayable. You can't play a platformer like this, and as of this video, you can only play with randoms online, so it's a crapshoot on connection stability.
I mean, will it even get that much better when we can set up sessions with friends in the future? It's a humongous letdown that the online play is so poor, especially considering that compared to the Wii U, we're paying for this online service. This just isn't acceptable, and hopefully one day it'll get better. I doubt it, but you never know. Stick with local co-op in the meantime, or just play levels by yourself. Speaking of, I didn't really feel the creative juices flowing this time as much as I did with Mario Maker 1, but I did manage to cook something up before this video. I'll leave the code to the level in the description below. Second area is a little tough, just to say that now, because for some reason you can't apply custom auto-scrolls to a sub-area. Here's hoping that gets patched in later.
Christ, John, your Metroid fanboy's showing. I think it's easier doing this as small Mario.
Perhaps, but you can do it, and I'm sure you can too. Super Mario Maker 2 is largely the same as the original, but the added content from all the previous updates as well as the inclusion of multiple characters, the new 3D world style, and the gimmicks that were heavily requested from before, except this one, and the new story mode make this a worthy addition to your Super Mario collection. Considering that there's also a ton of empty space here next to the 3D world layout, we might be due for another game style at some point. Maybe Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, Mario Odyssey, maybe just some added power-ups, who knows. After this though, I wouldn't mind a brand new 2D Mario. The do-it-yourself stuff is great, and it has a ton of staying power. You know what else has a lot of staying power? A great Mario game built from the ground up. A new game with a new art style, preferably. 3D Mario is still going strong, Odyssey is proof of that, but 2D Mario? Let's get something new without it being new, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, I hope they do make a new 2D Mario, but only if it is in a brand new style. The NSMB art style never really had any of its own personality in my opinion, and everything looked very, how do I put this, homogenized. Like a DreamWorks movie. Seeing a new art style would really revitalize my interest, I think. That and adding a couple new mechanics is really all they'd need to do, for me at least. And I mean like actual new mechanics, not like, this is the one where Mario is a cat. This is the one where Mario has a propeller on his head. For now though, I'm pretty content with Mario Maker, and since the possibilities are limitless, I don't see myself getting bored anytime soon. Just don't forget to keep it up with all the Kaizo-esque levels so I have more stuff to play. get to work.
Any luck on the device?
Nope, it's dead. And on fire.
It'll be God knows how long before I can make another one. Well, thanks for coming along anyway, Gil. Anything you want to plug before we sign off?
I most certainly do, and thanks for having me on. If you want to check out some of my stuff, you can go to my channel, GillytheKid, and assuming John links it in the end screen, I just did a video on some kind of obscure Mario games that I never really hear people talk about much, so check that out if you want. Or just go to my channel and find something else you might like. I probably, maybe have something up your alley.
And with that said, I'm not putting off this game anymore. I'll see you guys next time with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Hey, that's cool and all, but how do I get out of here?
Ooh, I think the escape button was on the remote device that's currently on fire.
Maybe if we just turn the TV off?
No! If you don't leave voluntarily, you could be skewered across the cosmos.
Huh?
Listen, man, I don't make the rules. That's just how it goes.
Well, maybe if we...
Oh, baby, no! Come on, get away from there. Get away from there.